Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Andy. You're watching Cornwall Card House. There's a lot of talk at the minute of the Pokemon market moving sideways, or there's a lot of talk of a crash coming. So I want to just have a little chat with you about markets and why the markets are always good for somebody at different points, and what markets are, what a bull run is, what a bear market is, what sideways movement is, overvaluation, and all that stuff. So market corrections happen when prices fall temporarily after a period of growth. It's the market's way of finding balance between what people want to pay and what things are actually worth. So in corrections, when we're talking markets, there are usually four main things. So in a bull run, you have overvaluation. When we start getting to the top, prices are too high. They go up too fast. People get scared, or the people can't enter their hobby. Then you get profit taking. Like I say, prices go up. If you've been holding things for 5-10 years, you've got a lot of gains. So early buyers sell to lock in gains, lock in profits, which then increases the supply back on the market, which kind of help with things later on. But it's not too much. Prices are still high. Then we've got a shift in demand. Interest in the hobby cools off. New buyers hesitate. When you go into a store and you've got a Destin Rivals ETB for 300 odd pound, people are going to be hesitant. There's been such hype for months and months and months, and now things are just starting to go like a little bit sideways. So people are starting to get a bit more hesitant. Is he going to get home with his $400, £350 Destin Rivals box, and it's going to be worth 250? Like, people are starting to have these thoughts in the back of the mind. And then lastly, we've got external pressures. So these are economic downturns, policy changes. Donald Trump with the tariffs, that's just one policy change where getting Japanese product was getting more expensive because of tariffs. So that's another factor. And also, like, influencer driven hype is a thing too, especially back in lockdown, when I was in that bull run back in lockdown. Every day I would see a good 10 videos when I came onto YouTube, and it was a brand new video every day. And then all of a sudden, as we entered the accumulation phase, sideways movement in the bear market, all of a sudden these videos got less and less and less, and the interest in making videos seemed to get less. And then I was by the time I was in the bear market in 2021, there was only the odd person who was still here now, like Deep Pocket Monster and things, and the rest were filled up with just normal Mr. Beast videos or whatever. And now, when this bull market started, I started seeing all these videos pop up again every day. So there's a lot of influencer driven hype, which can have an effect on the market. So they are the four main things. And as we all know, markets cannot go up forever. Corrections are necessary to shake out speculation and let the stronger hands accumulate again at fairer prices, which is when we have that period of sideways movement or bear market. People start accumulating again, and they are good enough to hold on to what they've accumulated, and then comes a bull market and good profit is made again. And people do these cycles. But like I said at the start of the video, the market is always good for somebody. Whether it's Pokemon market, a stock market, so the bull market, the bear market, the sideways movement is always good for somebody. So a bull market is good for holders and sellers. So people, like I said, who have been buying during bear markets are now reaping the rewards. So a bull market is good for them. And obviously sellers, you can just see online at these conventions, tables are packed out and there's people queuing. But obviously bull markets are not good for new buyers. New entry costs are high. It's a bit scary when you come in, and like the last booster box I brought from the Pokemon Center was like 104, £105. Like, when you've been used to picking up booster boxes for £78, £95, £105, £110. I mean, me as an not old investor, but I've been here for 10 years. When I started seeing £110 booster boxes, I was like, "Ugh." And now they're like 250, 300. And I'm like, no way. I did get mega evolutions though, but that was just a bit of a blip. So that's bull market, basically rising prices. Then we get into bear markets, which again are opposite, falling prices. These are good for buyers who like to hold long term. They like to accumulate. For example, booster boxes drop 40, 60% in some cases, and smart collectors re-enter here. So bear markets are good as well. It depends where you are in the market, but it's not great for holders who have just come into the hobby at the top of a bull market. It's not great for them. So every section of the market, whatever it's doing, is always good and bad for somebody. And then you've got the last one, which is sideways movement, which is kind of a accumulation phase in the market. This is good for patient investors, people who do this cycle running. They buy when the prices are down, or they accumulate when prices are going sideways, and then they just wait for a bull market. So it's good for them. It's a time to build positions while others are getting uncertain and bored. You're uncertain at the price this booster box is going to tank, or you're just bored because you're just wiped out in the hobby. Sideways movements and bear markets, they create future winners, which only takes a couple of good products, maybe a couple of years, and then all of a sudden there's 151 comes out, and then bang, we're back up again. So the market is always good for somebody. The value is always relative to your position. If you're a seller, any price above the cost of what you paid for it, basically, you're happy. If you're a buyer, any correction or plateau in the market feels like an opportunity. That's a good place. If you're a long-term collector like me, sideways movements feel peaceful. Sideways movements make me feel a bit more safe, which is why I've not been going too hard on Pokemon. I'm a long-term collector, investor in cardboard, and sideways movement makes me feel safe. When things start going up, I start to panic, and well, not panic, but I start to think, okay, where can I deploy my resources that aren't going to get wiped out if we hit a bear market? Which is why I've been accumulating and looking at other TCGs like Yu-Gi-Oh, Flesh and Blood, Gundam, One Piece, but that seems to be running it again. But Flesh and Blood is okay. Sorcery. And then when the Pokemon market starts to go sideways or starts to accumulate a bit more, starts to move downwards, that's when I'll start moving my resources back out of these other TCGs and back into Pokemon. Dolph Lundgren, Universal Soldier. So before I get on to this week's portfolio update, that was a bit about market. The big takeaway is markets cycle through emotions, okay? Greed, fear, doubt, hope, boredom. It's all in there. Corrections are good. Sideways movement builds the foundation. The new bull run rewards those who accumulate. So remember, the market is never wrong. Only our position in the market can be wrong. Okay, let's get out of that bright light. That kills me eyes. Okay, this week's pickup. Dun, dun, dun. We've now got 4 boxes of high seas. I brought another 2 boxes. We've had our beautiful Yossop back. I don't know if I showed this on last week's video, but we got Yossop back. We picked up an Articuno, got another one coming in the post. We've got the 8 in those 2. No real changes. We've had these back last week. The 9 in the Magikarp, which I thought would get a 10. It was really, really clean. Well within the 60-40, but we've still got the Metal Charizard, which is on eBay. Marnie's Morpeko. My old Pikachu EX, which I had in a binder for years, and then I sent it off because it looked quite clean. I was expecting an 8, but it came back with a 7, but I'll take that. We've had our God of War Pokemon Center box come through as well last week, along with our Mega Evolutions. I know I was saying I'm not going heavy in Pokemon, but This set looked just so nice. I need to get something about it. Can't believe this Charizard Braxian got a 6. You see this Gengar slab holder? It's really cool. My mate made it for me. My mate made it for me, and it's really cool. But the only thing is when you get when you get a graded card and you put it on, that's it. All you can see is his tongue. Silver. So that's about it. Other things going on in the market. Magic, if you're into Magic the Gathering, you know I was saying there was a Universities Beyond set coming, but we didn't know the name of it. It transpires it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Whether people are going to buy that, I kind of feel like Universities Beyond is absolutely shite. The cards don't look that great. The only thing I'm waiting for with Magic, like I said, is Star Trek. I'm sure there's other things going on in the market too, but the market's just moving so fast at the minute. It's bang, bang, information, articles, videos. You just got to step back. Just step back. Like I said in a video before, I've got 2 YouTube accounts. I've got this one, which when I sit down at night, it comes flooding with PokeRev videos and Lucky J videos and whoever, load of Pokemon people. But when I get 2 Pokemon out, I've got a second YouTube channel, which is all about golf, cars, wild camping, surfing, places to visit in Cornwall, walks, all things which I like to do outside of cardboard. So when you feel like you're a bit overwhelmed with cardboard, think about making up a second YouTube and just populating it with things which you like, which are out of the hobby. So that's basically it for this week's video. I hope that sort of gave you a bit more of an understanding of markets and how not to get kind of wrecked in these markets. And remember, the markets are always good for someone. It's your position in that market, which can be a bad thing. Okay. So, but don't despair too much. If you've spent thousands and thousands and you've got loads of products and you brought them recently at the top of the market, if you can hold them for 3, 5, 10 years, the market will be good for you. But if you panic sell now, the market's bad for you. Don't forget to follow me on the Collector app. I'll put the name here. I'll put my Instagram underneath it and whatever else I've got, my YouPorn handle and things like that. Do you think I'll get flagged for copyright because I sound like Pirates of the Caribbean? This set's got that really cool dog, that like underwater dog and like gravy bones. Beautiful cards. Best flesh and blood set, I think. So that's why I invested in 4 boxes. But I think I'm going to stop there. Maybe one more if I see it at a good price. So that's it for this week's update. I'll catch you all next week.